Yes, good evening, everyone. We will start in few minutes because many students are still joining. It becomes a little bit disturbing, right? So I'm just giving few more minutes so that students can join and then we will start. I hope I'm audible. Okay, thank you. Right. Don't worry, I'll show my face. Okay, I'm just waiting for students to join. Yes, so I think you all can see me. Okay, right. So it's already 6:10, I believe. It's going to be 6:10. Just one more minute and then I'll start. Okay. Right. So I think let's start. So good evening, everyone. Welcome to the session. And this session is sort of a different session, not a very conventional oriented session where students or the mentors and faculties come together and discuss strategies, previous year questions, or sources. Okay. Why I have decided to conduct this session? Because I believe that it's all about mindset. If your mindset is correct, you can crack any exam, you can become successful. But if there's some problem in the mindset, if there's some problem in the thinking process, then there is a chance that in spite of putting all the efforts, you're not cracking the exam or you're not becoming successful, right? There are many books, there are many, I would say, personalities talking about this. There are many self-help materials, journals, and social media is flooded with people talking about this thing. But I've come to realize that nobody talks about how this mindset is very important for the student who's preparing for a competitive exam like UPSC CSE. So here we are today to discuss that, right? Before I start discussing or telling you about the importance of mindset or how to exactly work for it, you need to first go into self analysis. Self examination is very much important, right? Okay, people are still entering the session. Okay, no problem. So let's first get into the fact that what is the current state? What are you feeling right now? It's very, very essential to understand this aspect. So, yes, you might be studying, and this particular session is more valid for those students who have, of course, not been able to qualify. Maybe you got the chance to write means once, but post that, there have been instances when you couldn't qualify. Or maybe in your various attempts, you were not able to qualify prelims and not able to get the chance to write means even once. So we need to understand that this session is, of course, talking and discussing the mindset of those students who are, due to any reason, not able to qualify the exam or might be getting a feeling that they have not done something good out of their life. And the time wasted or the time invested in this exam preparation has gone to waste, right? So there could be multiple of current state or current things going on in your mind. It could be that you're studying, but you're not certain. It could be that while studying, the doubts creep in. इस बार फिर नहीं होगा तो क्या शक्ल दिखाऊंगा या दिखाऊंगी या मान के ही चल रहे हो तो किस बार नहीं होगा. You're still studying. The book is open in front of you, but the mind and the you would say the negative mindset says that this time also I'll not be able to qualify. What's the use of studying, right? So these all doubts and thoughts creep in our mind. Sometimes it's mostly about that I've not been able to qualify earlier, so what difference will this attempt make? Even if you're putting your efforts, you're doing multiple courses, some current affairs material, you're going for multiple test series, open mocks, maybe even getting mentorship from certain people, but still you feel that nothing is going to make a difference in your attempt. And the past attempts baggage is too much to hold. It is hampering your success, right? So these things are going in your mind. Some people are distracted. They are distracted due to issues in family. They are distracted because their friend got married recently. They are distracted because, of course, their friend got promotion in his private or in a private job. There could be any numerous reasons, right? And you feel that what am I doing? My friends have, progressed further in life, and here I'm still stuck sitting for competitive exams with no results in hand. I cannot tell anybody what I'm currently doing, and there's a lot of pressure. For some students, social media, OTT, those kind of addictions, even booze for that matter, because I feel when we are discussing these issues, addictions not just come from, social media or YouTube or scrolling the reels, but yes, some people are under the addiction of booze or even junk food for that matter. Frankly, addiction could be anything. I was addicted to tea. My favorite addiction, or I would say my favorite pastime was to have tea, so many cups of tea. And coming out of that addiction itself was a huge, huge task for me. Like, from childhood, I'm drinking tea. So I was drinking tea, that means. And it was sort of addiction. And, I used to always judge, okay, drinking tea is a normal habit. It's not addiction. People who smoke and drink, they are, addicted. It's not me who's addicted. But yes, it was not actually helping my health. So I had to leave that addiction. And that is where, we want to understand that from small addictions to big addictions, because sometimes we are not able to realize that what is hampering our success. It could be getting addicted to comfort. It could be getting addicted to complacency. You're comfortably studying, okay, let me complete this thing in 10 days, okay, and maybe I will do previous year questions later on, and still, nothing is getting completed. You're not tracking your progress. You don't know where you're, right? So here on 2nd March, this session becomes very essential to understand that what exactly we can do to change the mindset. What is the solution to the various problems? But before I give you solutions, because I'm sure the solutions are everywhere on the internet, you can Google, even ChatGPT can give you. But my idea is that I will take you to that solution. It's not that I'm going to give you the solution, because I don't believe in spoon feeding. And this session will not be useful if you're spoon fed the solution. You need to figure out, yourself that, okay, how would I tackle whatever issues that I'm struggling with? What is the solution? What are the steps I need to take? Maybe some actions I need to take. What is the level of commitment, right? So, in the next few slides, we'll be discussing all of that and going by step, right? So, all these uncertainties and all. But I would say that when you're in your current state, it's most likely that you have some limiting beliefs, and these beliefs are of course not of one, made of 1 year of preparation. It has set in your adulthood, maybe post your 10th 12th boards. Maybe you couldn't get through IIT, maybe you couldn't get through a government college, engineering college, or I would say MBBS college, or whatever. I even desired humanities college, and maybe the desired subject also. And from there you started getting molded into certain beliefs which have limited your potential. I've listed out some, beliefs which I would say even I have harbored over the years, and maybe still I am, right? But the idea is that nobody is perfect. Neither the mentor guiding you is perfect, neither the student is perfect, not any person in this world is perfect. What you need to understand as a human being or as any good person is that we do have our own sets of strengths, weaknesses. We do have our own sets of maybe limiting beliefs that we first need to become aware of, and we need to start working upon it, right? So let's first handle that. Okay, what kind of limiting beliefs are, what are the varieties of limiting beliefs? And out of these 10, I'm sure maybe all 10 can apply to you, or few of them will apply to you, or none of them can apply to you, because this list is not exhaustive. Okay, I've just listed out just to give you a hint that yes, what are the certain common limiting beliefs every student in his or her lifetime or in his course of preparation has harbored or has believed in, right? Of course, starting off with I'm not intelligent enough, right? Because you've always come across that some toppers belong to some elite colleges. They have a background of IIT, that's why they're able to crack CSAT. Or they have a good degree, or they're a doctor, they're already a practicing lawyer. And you have so many competing competitors actually belonging to various fields, where you feel that you belong to a very compromised background, or your educational qualifications are not so good, you're not intelligent enough. Let me tell you, this exam doesn't test your intelligence, right? Till, I think, maybe till engineering entrance exams, or till your MBBS entrance exams, or any entrance exam for that matter, when you're applying to a college for the graduation, maybe at that point of time your intelligence is getting tested, IQ, EQ, whatever. But here, UPSC is more into EQ rather than your IQ, right? So even with bare minimum intelligence, you can work upon, you can actually clear this exam. So these limiting beliefs of not being intelligent enough, not belonging to some elite institution, is what I would say is yourself preparing for failure. There's nobody else telling you that. Even when you go to the interview panels, when you go for your personality test, it's not that if you belong or if you don't belong to an elite institution, you will be awarded or rewarded with certain marks, or you'll not be rewarded with certain marks. So you need to understand that first, start removing these limiting beliefs. And the first one is about this, because I've come across many students who have this belief, who tend to tell me that their room partner or their this friend or this particular person is having this kind of background, and that's why they are able to qualify the exam. It could be a possibility, to be realistic and pragmatic, it could be a possibility that they might crack this exam within 2 attempts, and you, on the other hand, might take 3 or 4 attempts. But none can tell you that you cannot qualify, or you cannot crack this exam, or you cannot get a rank. We have numerous examples. I don't want to take names right now, because I don't want to distract the session with some, name dropping and toppers' names and this and that. But yes, we all are aware where people from humble background, where people from normal colleges have been able to qualify the exam, right? So that is one thing that we need to work upon. The next is, of course, that we all have this, because even I feel, I have felt at this particular thing at one point of time. No matter how hard I try, I will never succeed. So yes, even during my later attempts, I was also feeling this, that yes, whatever I do, whatever test series I do, how many courses I do, how many practice I do, I'm never going to succeed in this exam. And in a way, I was pushing myself to study. I was pushing myself to, like, go for my attempts. But yes, in a way, in the inner voice was saying that, it's all futile. It's not going to work. अगर होना होता तो 2-3 अटेम्प्ट में ही बन जाती. लास्ट के अटेम्प्ट्स में कौन बनता है, right? But we have examples where people have cracked, or they have become rank holders in their last attempt, fifth attempt, sixth attempt also. Yes, I don't want to generalize that all of you should aim for fifth and sixth attempt, but then I'm just trying to tell you that till the time you have that zeal and that motivation, that even a small voice inside of you tells you to go for this exam up, give more attempt, please stick to it. Okay, so don't worry about this, that however hard you're trying, you're not going to succeed. There will be a moment, there will be a day that, in spite, or maybe, putting all the efforts comes together, the cumulative benefit that you get, right? So let's not believe in this thing that whatever I do, I will never be able to succeed. And of course, I'm a failure. Maybe you couldn't do good in college. You got a very normal CGPA score, or, in other competitive exams also, you're simultaneously giving your state service exams, you're also giving your UPSC, and you're not able to qualify any of them. And then you tend to start feeling that, okay, I'm a failure. Maybe, this is not something meant for me. I will never be able to do this. Everyone else is smarter, better than me. That's a common, because peer pressure, right? I don't have to elaborate more on this. There's also one thing that I would say, that we tend to sometimes think about others rather than ourselves. And when I say others, I count family, I count friends, I count relatives, I count siblings. Yeah, I even count your, special person, your crush, or maybe, if you're in an active relationship, then maybe your boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever, that I will disappoint them. My girlfriend is waiting for me, and, my boyfriend is waiting for me, or maybe, I have invested so much money of my parents, and of course, I'm going to disappoint them. See, we need to understand that any person, be it your parents, your family, your siblings, of course, they have interest in your career. Of course, they want you to become better, or they want you to become stable, and they want you to get, success in this exam. But frankly, after a point of time, your success or your failure will stop making a difference in their lives. After 4-5 years, let's imagine you become an IS officer, IPS officer. After 4-5 years, do you think it will still matter to them? No, they'll be like, okay, maybe, okay, where you're posted, okay, what's your salary? Maybe, your father and mother can ask you this, okay, are you happy or not? How is your job looking like? Like, is it very stressful? But do you think it's going to really impact them every day, every moment, every second, every function that they go to? People forget, right? People have short-term memory. Your relatives also have short-term memory. So please don't worry about disappointing others. But yes, I would say please worry about yourself, not disappointing yourself for that matter. But I would say worry about that, maybe if you're not able to do something good in your life, then 5-6 years down the line, or 10 years down the line, what you will feel. The problem with society right now is that nobody tells you. In 20s, you know that, okay, you have to set up a career, you have to, maybe get a job, or, you have to get married, or whatever. Those, tasks are laid out in front of you. But sometimes nobody tells you, or I would say most of the times, even your elder siblings and, relatives don't tell you that what you're going to feel in your 30s. Because 20s is where the world is ready to give you opportunity. If you're in a job, in a private job also, your boss will give opportunity to you. Okay, maybe he's still learning, she's still learning. Okay, no problem. Koi galti ho gayi, mistake ho gayi, forget it, no problem, you're still learning. Do you think you can afford to make mistakes when you're in your 30s, be it in any job? Right? So the problem is that whatever you're doing, you should be doing for yourself, right? And you should not be going and thinking about that, okay, what others think, how am I going to disappoint my parents? Even if your parents are disappointed for that matter, and I'll tell you, the expectation of parents is always on the better end. If you get something, if you get A, they will always ask you about B. If you get B, they'll ask you about C. So it's a continuous thing. And that the same rule applies for the society, right? So it doesn't mean that you're going to disappoint It's just that once you fulfill something, the expectation might increase, right? So, frankly, as a human being, you cannot take the responsibility of impressing or, you could say, making everyone happy. That is not possible and that is not in your hands. But yes, you need to take the opportunity of the zeal, the energy, the good health that you possess in your 20s, the kind of opportunities that you get in your 20s to make a better life, because the society or the system for that matter is very difficult in giving you the opportunity in your 30s or 40s. Yes, we have examples of people. Okay, just a moment. You have examples of, people making, doing good in their 40s, 50s, maybe starting their entrepreneur journey. But let me tell you, it is very, very difficult. Because in your 30s, 40s, you're not alone, you're not single, you're not a bachelor anymore. You have a responsibility of parents. Okay, you have your, maybe, you have your family, your kids are going to school, and there, if you think you will get the opportunity to do something better in your life, or maybe you're so much dissatisfied with your job and you want to switch jobs, you want to switch careers, it's very, very difficult. So you need to take the opportunity that you have in your 20s, right? But please don't worry about disappointing others and don't worry about opinions of others. None of them matters a lot. And trust me, I'm speaking from experience. Relatives, friends, those friends who will call you, okay, when are you getting married? Few years down the line, they'll stop calling you, they'll stop getting bothered. And you are there left alone, tackling your life challenges. Even if you become an IS officer, do you think your friends down the years will be bothered about that? Okay, what you're doing? Oh, you didn't get success. Okay, you didn't get promotion. In spite of, you become an IS officer. Acha, promotion nahi mila, ye nahi mila, cadre nahi mila. Okay, the politician is, putting pressure on you. Whatever, XYZ, they are not bothered. So why do we get bothered right now with their opinions and disappointing others and all, right? So please don't think you're here not to impress or make anyone happy. Everyone's happiness is in their own hands, right? And we as humans, as mortal human beings, do not have any agency to make anybody happy for a lifetime. Maybe momentary happiness, yes, you can. Maybe you invite your friends for a coffee, you pay the bill, and maybe your friend becomes happy. But do you think you can always keep your friends? You can always keep your boyfriend, girlfriend, you can keep your parents happy, your wife, spouse, or teachers? No, no, it's not possible. So please, remove this limiting belief of that if I do not do this, if I do not become this, I'll disappoint people around me. Okay. Because this kind of, expectation or this kind of pressure really, sorts of impact your performance. I've come across many students doing everything. They are very sincere students. They are putting in all the efforts. But in the exam, because of this pressure, they are not able to handle the pressure in those 2 hours and they totally mismanage their paper. They totally ruin their paper. They're not able to complete the 2 3 rounds which is necessary. They are making silly mistakes just out of pressure. The same paper, if they solve in the evening, without any time limit, they will be able to. So what happens in those 2 hours? It's the expectations, the load, the baggage of expectations that is put across upon your head. It really messes up your mind. You're not able to focus. So you need to understand this, okay, and not get influenced by these limiting beliefs. Okay. Then also, one failure means I'll always fail. One attempt, one prelims not qualified, two attempts not qualified, three attempts not qualified. I'll never be able to qualify. No, nothing like that, right? You have come across, many examples where people have tried many times and they have not got success in the first instance itself, right? You write so many examples in your essay. Edison example, right? It's such a common example, but while we are able to write it in the essay, we are not able to apply it in our, life, in our thought process, actually. So trust me on this. Any successful person you come across, they have not got the success in the first instance itself. I can tell you. Maybe they are not forthcoming, maybe they are not honest, maybe they have not shared their set of failures. But if you will watch their life, you'll observe their life, you will always come across that there have been number of failures, number of setbacks, number of disappointing events before they have been able to get success, right? So you need to work on this, that one failure doesn't mean that you'll always fail or you'll always fail in life. Okay, even if you fail in UPSC or you're not able to crack the UPSC exam, you'll always fail. You'll not be able to do anything better. No, that's not the case, right? Success is about luck and not effort. Of course, again, um, problematic, right? Luck and all that, very tricky to deal, very tricky to discuss, very tricky to debate. I would say there are factors, yes, which influence your success in the exam, but luck doesn't mean that, it's all luck. Efforts are, there. And it's not that if you're lucky on that particular day, then you'll be able to crack the exam. You need to supplement your luck with efforts. Or I would say when you put in efforts, luck will supplement your efforts, right? So you need to be very careful in that. Okay. Don't depend on luck. Luck is a very tricky, subject to discuss, to believe in. We casually use it that, okay, I'm unlucky, I'm lucky, or maybe luck is not in my favor. Please don't depend on that, because I'll also tell you one thing. Maybe you're unlucky in this exam, but you might be lucky in other spheres. So if you're complaining in one sphere of life that maybe you're unlucky, you're not able to crack the exam, do you complain that you're lucky because you have got your supporting parents, you've got, financial stability, you've got a roof over your head, you've got food to eat, or maybe, so many things to be, grateful for. So maybe there the luck is there with you, but then once one area we are not able to, utilize that luck, or the luck is not favoring us, and then we start blaming it entirely, right? So it could be that your luck is there with you. Maybe it is just, waiting for you to make those right efforts, right dedication, and it will start favoring you in that particular area too, right? So you need to be very, very careful in this aspect. I'm too old, too late to succeed. People with, in their later attempts, people in their 28, 29 years of age, it's never too late. Please don't go with the timeline of society. Okay, society tends to follow its own set of, notions and beliefs. And frankly, I tell you, it doesn't serve people. It doesn't serve to have fixed timelines that you should be, having a stable career at 25, maybe got your first promotion at 27, get married at 28, got your first baby at 29, and, got your first car at 30, got your first house at 32. No, things don't work like that. For many people, it doesn't work like that because life is uncertain. You cannot go for timelines. You cannot go for fixed days that, okay, yeah, this is the, date and timeline that I have to follow. Good if you have a plan in life, it's good to plan, but then there's nothing like a timeline, because everybody's timeline is different, everybody's life is different, everybody's living their own unique experience in this, earth. So you need to be understanding of this fact that there's nothing called as too old, too young, too late, too early. Wherever you are, whatever you are, you need to believe that you are at the right place at the right time. Maybe, yes, the exam requires more of efforts, which you have not put up until now. Okay. So that is something that, again, you need to work upon. If I fail again, people will mock me. Same things, right? I've wasted years of my life. Let's move on from the list of limiting beliefs. I'm sure you all must have identified. If you're still, with me, you need to understand that out of these limiting beliefs, you still must be harboring some, and you need to work upon them. Start. Of course, it's not easy to work, like, okay, today I talked about limiting belief, and then, tomorrow you have removed that belief. No, because it takes time. But please actively work on it. Stop your negative thought process. If you tend to feel that, okay, I'm not intelligent enough, please substitute that intelligence with hard work. My parents used to, always tell me that, your generation, or, you kids are so brilliant. We were not so intelligent, but we always used to, do hard work. We used to always put hard efforts, or, I would say, like, we used to study a lot. But you guys are intelligent. You people are intelligent. Your generation is intelligent. Okay, so that means both of the sets of people can work. Intelligent people can also get success. People who don't possess the adequate amount of or required intelligence still can get success. But yes, they have to substitute. If you don't have something, you have to substitute with something else. And that is where the efforts come in, right? So if you don't feel intelligent enough in answer writing, you don't feel intelligent enough to take guesswork in the prelims papers, put in efforts, put in more efforts, cover that subject, revise that topic. Okay. So you can substitute the intelligence part with your efforts. Now, we need to first understand that 100% responsibility. That means if you're not able to qualify, stop blaming others. Stop blaming, the center, the invigilator on that day. You filled up the form late. There was an irritating rickshawala or auto wala or cab driver. He started fighting with you. There was traffic jam on that particular day. or maybe your room partner or your flatmate is not cooperative. You have distracting people in your life. There are relatives who are mocking you, ridiculing you, whatever. First of all, if you want to be successful in life, and this is not just relevant for this session or this UPSC, I would say it's general in life, that if you want to do something, the idea is to take 100% responsibility. Okay, please take 100% responsibility of your life. This means that I will not blame any external entity for anything which is happening in my life. I'm not talking about success or failure. I'm just simply talking about that every day take charge of your life. You are responsible. You're an adult. You're not a child anymore. That maybe, your food is getting decided by your mother, your clothes are decided by your father, your school is getting decided by your parents, XYZ, even till college. Right now, I'm sure, everybody attending this session is above 18 years of age. You're in your 20s, most probably, and you are adult enough to understand to take the 100% responsibility. You might be feeling that, this is not so relevant for the exam. Just stick with me and I'll tell you how this is so much relevant, because everybody is studying. Everybody is having the access to same kind of resources. Telegram is filled up with, numerous materials. Every day I open Telegram channels and there's, some new material, some new summary coming up, some new current affairs material getting launched, some new test series getting launched. Everybody's, into this, that okay, do this course or do this thing, do the previous year questions. The previous year question solved is also out. Numerous things. But how do you feel, or how do you think that some people are able to utilize the same resource and crack the exam, or maybe they are able to like qualify the prelim stage, and some people, in spite of having all the resources, they are not? It's not about the resources or the external factors, it's about how you utilize it. So first thinking is, or the first, I would say, belief system or positive thought process that you need to develop is taking the 100% responsibility. You as an adult is 100% responsible for your life decisions and whatever is happening in your life. Today also, you decided, I didn't pull out from your room or from your library to come and attend this session. You saw my post, you decided that okay, I need to attend this session. Let me see what is, being talked about, what is being discussed. Maybe I need that mindset change. Maybe I need to work on my mindset, right? Maybe something is still lacking in me. So I'm glad that you took that decision and you're here, because that shows that you have taken the first step towards taking up 100% responsibility. Stop blaming your parents, stop blaming your, teachers of school, colleges who did not taught you enough or did not taught you properly. You feel, okay, I don't know geography because my geography, teacher of school was, always absent, didn't know northeastern capital states, so how would I know the answer to it? So now you have got the opportunity, now you have the agency, now you're an adult, you can study, you can practice the maps, you can study and understand geography or history, or for that matter any subject, right? So please stop blaming somebody else, because if you get into this victim mindset, if you get into this blaming mindset, you will always find XYZ reasons to blame about. Today's weather is not good, the center was not proper, the invigilators were not so good, they were disturbing me, the paper was not good, I couldn't revise, my set had more geography questions, my set had more art and culture questions, whatever it could be, numerous things, right? So blaming others will always fix you into the victim mindset. And with victim mindset, when you start blaming others, you will never be able to achieve success in your life. And this is, I'm again telling you, this is not just respect to this exam. This is the entire life skill that I'm trying to teach you over here. Why I'm doing this session? Because again and again, I have felt that everybody has the same access to resources, to test series, to the books, to NCRTs. Now tell me, who doesn't know that you need to study NCRTs? How many of you are actually studying NCRTs? Don't you know you have to practice previous year questions and not just know the solution or the answer to it, but you have to actually go into a depth analysis to understand the topic or the theme on which UPSC repeats the question, right? But how many of you are actually have done this up till now? So we all know that something needs to be done, but either we are not doing it, and for that we are blaming the others, right? I come across many students talking about the center wasn't good, my mindset was not good before the exam. I was studying till, May end, but in the last week, something happened in my family life, something happened. Right. Of course, there will be external factors which have the potential to distract you, which have the potential to disturb your state of mind. But again, with, strong mindset, you can bounce back from that. There have been toppers who have said that they lost their mother, father, due to some disease or due to some any other issue within the exam preparation time, and they still gave the exam, they still gave the attempt, they appeared for it, and they were able to, clear the exam. So why? It's not that they don't love their parents or they, the person didn't love their mother. Of course they did, but they knew that the better thing to do is to study for the exam, to appear for the exam with a zeal, with the motivation to crack the exam, right? So there always will be factors available for you to blame. Let's move on from that and take 100% responsibility. Even for the matters like your health, your fitness, your financial stability, your friends, your social relations, even in your relationships, I would say take 100% responsibility for whatever is happening in your relation. If you're happy, good. If you're unhappy, there are certain things that you need to actively work upon, and that includes taking the responsibility part, right? You cannot blame the other person. Oh, you always disturb me, you always do this, you always do this. You can't always blame the other person, right? You have to take the understanding, or you have to get into the understanding that you're also equally responsible for the things that happen to you, right? So we have to move from the victim mindset, because personal responsibility is the key attitude for personal empowerment. You will, come across many people, many motivational speakers, people coming out with those self-help, books and all that, personality development books, and they always talk about this. The one, mantra that they live by is this, that you have to take personal responsibility. You have to take 100% responsibility for your own life and actions, because unless until you take that, you will never be able to succeed in life. Okay, so let's move on from this, major takeaway, that first we need to take 100% responsibility. When I'm emphasizing on these, please, I expect you to write it down also, okay? So that after 1.5 hours or after 2 hours of session, you tend to understand that these are the key takeaways. Because when we have these kind of sessions, sometimes if you just keep on listening, you might identify with me that, yes, okay, she's saying true. Yes, I need to take responsibility. But after a few hours, you'll forget. By tomorrow morning, you will forget. In 2 days' time, it will be totally off your mind. You'll not even remember what I said. So at least jot these things down. Okay, I'm not asking you to make some notes, but at least go for that. You need to have certain key takeaways, jot it down into few keywords that, okay, I need to take 100% responsibility for my life, right? The second thing is that you need to be courageous. You need to ask yourself this question, that do you have courage? Do you possess courage? And with that, I just want you to give the definition. I already know you are aware of the definition. You might have already done this as part of your ethics syllabus, but I'm just trying to, you would say, brush your memory on this. What is the definition of courage? It says the ability to control fear in a situation that may be dangerous or unpleasant. So, what does it mean? And if you could see, I'll just, point out the laser. If you could see in this entire definition, this unpleasant is what I have, put in bold. Why? No, why not the entire definition? The ability to control fear or dangerous? Because right now, we live in times where we might not be facing dangerous situations on a daily basis, but we might be facing unpleasant situations on hourly basis, on daily basis, on monthly basis. What are those unpleasant situations? The unpleasant situation is that you have to get up from the bed early in the morning to start studying for the exam. The unpleasant situation is that you have to control your cravings for junk food and eat healthy, or maybe eat home cooked food. The unpleasant situation is that you have to forego your entertainment time, me time, your hobbies to prepare for this exam. So there are numerous unpleasant situations that you're countering with, respect to this exam. Of course, you're not countering any dangerous situation. There's no tiger or cheetah attacking you. But yes, your courage is actually being tested when how you're able to handle these unpleasant situations, right? So courage doesn't just mean that you have to jump off a cliff or you have to go for bungee jumping. And then, how is your courage? Do you have courage to do that or not? I think the current generation is courageous enough to go for bungee jumping, but it is not courageous enough to appear for competitive exams, right? Or it is not courageous enough to, go for delayed gratification. I'm sure you must have heard of this term, delayed gratification. As humans, we tend to, if something is placed in front of us, something appeasing, chocolate or any favorite food of yours, you just want to, eat it. I have a sweet tooth, I'm also a person who loves sweets, sweet things and pastries and cakes and whatnot. But if it is in front of me right now, earlier, of course, I used to jump at it. I used to just like, finish it off in one go, one pastry in one go, 5 minutes के अंदर खा लिया. But right now, because my focus is also on my health, I need to see that should I go for that one slice of cake or pastry or should I control myself? Most of the times, even if I take a bite, I save it for later. Or maybe I tell my mother that, okay, this is the only bite that I'm taking off. You can, distribute it or you can have it. So this is where the delayed gratification comes, that you need to sometimes control your cravings, and these cravings could be for junk food, this could be for smoke sessions, it could be for surfing the ott, the web series, the going for social media, going with chatting with your friends. It was supposed to be a 15-minute tea break, it became a 1 hour tea break, right? So all these things you need to control, and you need to see, I'm not asking you to stop living your life, but you need to see that where you can place it. Maybe instead of having breaks on a daily basis, long friendly chats with your friend, long conversations with your friend, maybe on weekends you take out a time, okay, specific time, that okay, maybe this point of time I'll talk. Or maybe if you have controlled your diet for the past 6 7 days, 10 days, maybe one cheat day is something that you can afford to have, right? So that delayed gratification will really help you. It will help you develop a strong mindset, a disciplined mindset. This exam thrives on discipline. It doesn't thrive on intelligence. It doesn't thrive on, how much money you can spend on different coachings and different test series. It just thrives on discipline. If you're disciplined enough, you're aware that, okay, what is my goal? How much efforts I need to put in? If you're clear with that, if you're courageous enough to go for delayed gratification, you're courageous enough to say no to certain things at that present moment, you will be able to get success in this life and this exam also, right? But first we need to understand that why we don't possess courage. Okay, like for example, everyone have their own sets of like I would say insecurities or fears, right? And we cannot say that I am 100% courageous or you are, you could be 100% courageous. In the moment we need to decide, right? So courage is not something that is always innate in you. You have to consciously develop it, right? So with that you need to also question yourself at times, that why am I not having that courage to give my 100%? Why am not having that courage to you know uh, go for delayed gratification? Why I'm not having that courage to face the unpleasant circumstances? If I need to get up from the bed early in the morning to study, if I need to say no to certain things, why I don't possess the courage to it? What is stopping me? Right? You have to ask these questions. Sometimes it is, that you are bound to, appeasing people. You can't say no to your friends. You can't say no to yourself. Or maybe you live by the, formula, you live only once, YOLO, right? And even I used to live by that formula at one point of time, that you live only once. So yes, have that chocolate cake, have that, see that OTT web series, all that thing was there with me also at one point of time. But then, yes, I would not say that it was there when I was preparing for UPSC, because it was there when I was in college. And the personality that was there in the college time, my personality was very different from what I'm right now. So that person was, totally indisciplined, living by the motto of you only live once, you only enjoy once. So everything is for your enjoyment, and you don't have to worry about certain things. Career तो हो ही जाएगा, job तो हो ही जाएगी, पैसे तो आ ही जाएंगे, सारी चीजें ये हो ही जाएगा, चल जाएगा, देख लिया जाएगा, उस टाइप का एटीट्यूड था. It doesn't really help. But when I started preparing for UPSC, because there were certain things which happened in my personal life before I came for this preparation, and then I was like, oh my God, I have done a big mistake in wasting my time. I cannot be so much indisciplined. I cannot say yes to every person. I need to have some boundaries. I need to understand that what is serving me, what is serving my interest, and not just, what is serving others. Okay. So this is something that really helped me, work upon myself. Now I just want to pose certain questions just to, take this discussion forward. I just want to, help you imagine a situation that if for, let's imagine this particular situation that if somebody comes and tells you, and if you believe in God or angel or, anything, or even if, your family comes and tell you that, somebody has told them, some astrologer, some panditji, that this is going to be your year. You're not going to fail in your endeavor. You're not going to fail in your attempt. And you will, of course, get the rank. So then what will you do? How will you behave in that scenario? If the certainty of positive result is given to you, it's ensured. You know that you're going to get a rank this year. How will you behave? Will you stop studying? No, you will not. At least, major, I would say, major people who are sincere, who are aware, who are mature, they will not stop studying because somebody has given them the assurance that this year you're going to crack the exam. When you have that assurance, you tend to put in more efforts because you tend to feel that somebody might give you an assurance of double digit rank, that, okay, you'll get rank 50. But then you'll think, okay, what if I can get rank 1? Let me put in more efforts. That's how a sincere person starts working, or it usually works, right? In any field, be it studying or be it in the job. So you need to start assuming that you're going to get successful, you're going to clear prelims. Just understand and start imagining, start believing in this, that 25th May, by the evening, you'll be sure that you're qualifying this year's prelims. And 26th May morning onwards, you're getting the tension. Oh my God, now I have to prepare for mains. So when you're sure of your success, how would the routine look like? How would your day-to-day activity look like? Would you still waste your time? Right? So I've just rephrased the question again, that if you're a god, the god or Shivji or whatever, god you believe in, right? So if God or angel comes to you and tells you that you're not just, qualifying, but getting a rank this year, but yes, on certain conditions. And then you ask that, okay, what are those conditions? And then, you know, the person replies, the God replies, or, the angel replies that, okay, the condition is that, that you have to study for 8 to 10 hours. If you study for 8 hours daily basis, you will get a double digit rank. Maybe you will get rank 72 or 80 or, 50 or 55. But if you study for 10 plus hours, you will get a single digit rank. So that is the condition. But yes, you're qualifying this year's exam. So what would you choose? If you're able to get a desired rank, single digit rank, the career of your choice, the service of your choice, everything of your choice, the girl boy of your choice, right? And but the condition is that you have to put in the effort. So of course you will go for 10 plus hours, right? Now what is stopping you from doing that? I understand that nobody has come to tell you ever, nor your family, nor your, family panditji or astrologer or any god or any angel has not come in your dreams and told you this, that yes, you are qualifying. But I think you should have that belief in yourself that you're going to qualify. And I'm actually telling you not to, toot my own horn, or I would say, like go for self, gloating and all that. But actually, for me, prelims was never a problem because I knew in my heart there was an inner voice that I'll always be able to qualify prelims. And that was not a blind, confidence. It was because I was good with MCQs. Because before I came to UPSC, CSE preparation phase, I had already appeared for multiple objective based exams. So objective question was never a problem for me. So the inner voice was always telling me that prelims is not a hurdle for you. You will be able to qualify, right? And this, of course, inner voice grew stronger attempt by attempt, in the sense that, I've given all the attempts, I've qualified every, prelims. So it's not that in my third and fourth attempt, I was still guessing that I'll not be able to qualify. because I had that inner voice also telling me that you'll be able to qualify. And I had the past proof also that yes, I have been able to, appear for mains and write mains twice. So yes, what is stopping me this time? Maybe let me, push myself more to even qualify the forest cutoff. And trust me on this, I did that in my last attempt. When people are already, totally worn out, they are, exhausted, their energy, their zeal. I decided that, okay, if this is going to my, last attempt, let me, make this my best attempt. And I studied a lot for the prelims. Nobody studies that much in their fifth attempt. I even started covering, unknown books and all that. Like, something I just added more resources because I was so bored of, reading the same resources, same books, that I added something more to, maintain the interest. But I just didn't want to take any chance. And in my last attempt, I also qualified the forest cutoff. So if you know that 25th May you're going to qualify prelims, what is stopping you from studying right now? Have that belief, okay? Let that inner voice guide you, give you that confidence. You tell yourself day in, day out that you're going to qualify the exam. But yes, the condition applied is that you have to sit and study. Because without that, even God or angel is not guaranteeing you of success. They're just, giving you the condition that yes, you have to study 8 hours, 10 hours, your call. Single digit, 10 hours, double digit, 8 hours. Right? So have that belief in yourself, right? Be courageous, do or die. These kind of situations or these kind of phrases are not just, some phrases from, modern history, or I would say from, famous personalities. This is life. Either you do it or you die in the process of doing it. Nothing in between. There's no gray area, right? So have this concept in your mind very clear. So the second takeaway is what? You need to possess courage, right? To take the good decisions for, exam and for your self study or for your routine. You have to go for delayed gratification. You have to learn to say no. And you need to start believing that you are qualifying this year's exam. Trust me on this. I have lived through this motto. Prelims was never a worry, even in the initial attempt. Even in my first attempt, when I, went to the center, I was not even revising. I saw many people, taking out Lakshmikant and revising Spectrum, standing, while waiting for the entry to the center. And I was not revising because I felt, and there was one faculty who advised me that whatever you have studied, it's enough. Don't go for last minute revisions, standing at the center, because you need to make your mind calm down after so much of, months and days of studying. So I just followed his advice. I was not revising anything before, standing before the center. And when the entry was given and all that, and I was confident that, okay, yes, whatever comes in front of me, I'll be able to do so. And I was not fixing a, a range of marks that, okay, I have to, get this and this and that. I was like, okay, I'll be able to, clear the cutoff that I'm, trying to aim for. That I need to, clear the cutoff with a good margin so that there's no doubt left. And, but actually, when I say, when I saw the mark sheet and everything, I had cleared with a good margin. So that kind of confidence, that kind of inner voice need, you to work upon, and you need to start developing that inner voice for yourself. Nobody's coming to pick you up. Nobody's coming to take responsibility for your life. There's nothing called as, knight in shining armor, either for the girls or for the boys. Nobody is coming to save you. You have to be your own savior. And for that, you need your courage. You need that self belief. You need that confidence. Okay. And you need to pick yourself up every time you fall down. Don't wait for others to help you. Be your own support, be your own help, right? So, on this confidence that you are qualifying this year's exam, have this faith. Okay. Right. Now, also, we need to understand that, okay, I've already, understood, or I've already started believing that I am successful. Okay. I have qualified this year's prelims exam, or maybe even till the rank, right? I've qualified all the three stages, I've got the desired rank. Now, when you're successful, will you waste your moments? Will you waste your seconds? Will you waste your days? What will be your routine? You might have come across many people like, those 75-day hard challenge and all that, right? or you have your many successful people, entrepreneurs, billionaires talking about getting up in the morning at 5 a.m., 5 a.m. routine, 5 to 9 before your 9 to 5, those kind of things you must be hearing about, and social media is filled up with such kind of things. I cannot say how much true is that, but I can say for sure that the people who are successful, and be it in any sphere, any sector, they have their own set boundaries. They have learned how to say no. They are very careful and cautious about where they are investing their energy and their time. It's not that somebody's coming and telling them that, okay, come, let's have tea, and they're investing, or they're, wasting their 1 hour into having tea or into gossip or into scrolling social media. People who are successful are not sitting in front of TV, they are not watching OTTs, they are not, you would say, doing anything which can decrease their productivity and disturb their mindset. They don't give opportunity to other people to disturb them. They are very, very careful about their time. So if you are successful, if you know you're going to be successful, how would you behave with your routine? How would you behave with your time? Because time is something which is very precious, right? So how would you invest that? Will you still waste it? No, you will not, because you know that your success, and once you reach, a level of success, there's nothing called as enough. Then you want to achieve the next level of success. If you make your first million, you want to make 100 millions. If you get a desired rank, desired state, desired, cadre, service, the next thing is, okay, promotions. Okay, desired this posting, I need to, get this. Maybe 10 years, 15 years down the line, I need to get into ministries, maybe become secretary and all that, right? Those posts and those higher posts and all, right? So you will never be satisfied. And that's how human life is lived. You can never be content, you can never be satisfied. And that is the only driving force that you have in your life. But the moment you become successful, you also become cautious with your time. You tend to understand that everything is important, in the sense that what you deem it to be important. If you want your relationship to be important, yes, you're investing time over there, because yes, family time is important. But if you don't want to waste your time, your friend is there to bitch and gossip, and it's just that you're not gaining anything out of it, you will stop meeting him or her, right? That's why people, when they become, or they reach a certain level in their life, their friendships, their old friendships, their old social relations actually come to an end. You cannot evolve taking everybody together. Does your childhood friend still play with you, or do you still talk to him or her? No. So as you have evolved in adulthood, similarly, when you evolve in your career, in your successful journey, there also your time becomes very precious, your energy becomes very precious. Okay, so be careful of that, be cautious of that, and learn to say no. So, what is the third step in this journey? Learning to say no. Learn to say no to people who tend to waste your time. Learn to say to no to people who tend to utilize, or I would not like to use the word misuse, but yes, they tend to take benefit out of you. Maybe they want your help, you are helping them out by not studying, by by being there for them. But when it comes to you, like when it comes the opportunity that they should be helping you, you require their help, they are nowhere to be seen. So be very careful of people. And it's not just about people. For you, even I would say, please start, learn to say no to test series, irrelevant test series, irrelevant material, irrelevant guidance, irrelevant strategies, and this and that, and so much going on. You should know that when to say no, when to say yes, what is going to benefit you, what is not going to benefit you. If you yourself are not able to take that call, yes, sometimes we are in that situation that it becomes difficult, we don't know, maybe take help of a mature person, right? It could be your parents, it could be a sibling, it could be a mentor, it could be a faculty. take advice of two, three people, but go with your own gut instinct. Go with the feeling that if something feels that, yes, I need to do this, is going to benefit me, please do this. But always cross question yourself also. Try and examine yourself and learn to say no to people, to situations, to relatives ridiculing you, to friends who are just taking the benefit and not, reciprocating in the same way, who don't believe in two-way friendship, only one-way friendship, anybody for that matter, and anything for that matter. Okay? You need to be very, very careful with your life, with your seconds, with your energy, with your moments, with your time, right? So that is there. So that is the major takeaway. Then I also have come across many times, because we as humans are social beings. Of course, we are nothing without our social relations. But then sometimes I have come across students getting bothered, or maybe in their personal life, there's one particular person. It could be the parent, it could be the sibling, it could be the friend, it could be, your special person for that matter. It could be, that means your boyfriend, girlfriend, your spouse. It could be anybody, right? So you also need to sort out the issue. And at times, you should be honest with yourself. You need to ask this question: is there any person in your life with whom you could be more honest with in expressing your feelings? What will you say to them? This question is actually very particular, because I've come across students, and they are going through some personal issues. There are people who are not able to understand them in their family. It could be parents, it could be relatives, it could be anybody, it could be your room partner, it could be your flatmate, right? And you need to be honest. Don't start pleasing people. If you remember from world history, policy of appeasement or people pleasing behavior is what we do. Even I have been, right? So at one point of time, I thought, okay, why to make the other person, disappoint, get the feeling of disappointment? Let me do this. Okay, I will not say. My friend has come, from different city. Okay, I will not say it no to her. Let me meet, her 2, 3 days in a row. Go with shopping, go with her for shopping, and because it's a marriage coming up, so she needs my support. No, sometimes you need to understand that such things don't work in the long run. Okay, so is there any person? This is very, very specific question, but I feel, because as social beings, as human beings, there is one person, in our life, and it could be anybody. I'm not going to judge here. It could be friend, it could be flatmate, it could be anybody, it could be even your mentor, your teacher, your faculty, with whom you need to have some honest conversations. You need to draw the boundaries, and you need to be careful that they don't have the power to influence your mood, your expectations, your beliefs about yourself. They don't, they should not have the power to influence your confidence also. They should not have the power to influence your mood, that before the exam, they know you had a fight with them, they said something to you, maybe it was not even a fight, but you got disturbed, now you're not focused, you're not able to revise, you go with very low mood on the day of the exam. You should have given your best, but for whatsoever reasons, you could not give the best, because that person's thought process, or whatever they said to you about any situation or about you, is actually has really influenced your thought process and your mind and your beliefs. So please be careful. Okay, again telling you, this is specific, and in the sense that it might not be applicable for every person. It's good that if this question is not applicable to you, right, very happy, but then if it is applicable, please have that courage, right? Then the next question is that, what will you stop doing if you have more courage in life? If you have the courage to stay alone and be happy alone, you will stop the people pleasing behavior, you will stop the policy of appeasement, you will stop caring about others opinion. So develop that self sufficiency, develop that self confidence, be independent. Maybe right now you're financially dependent on your parents, or for that matter any family person who's maybe helping out with the funds to sustain your preparation during this phase. But then you need to be very careful of this fact, that if you are having courage in your life, there would be things that would fall off automatically, that would stop existing in your life. So this question becomes relevant, that what will you stop doing if you have more courage in life? Because the answer to this would lead you to success, right? What will you stop doing? You will, stop doing saying yes to everything. You will stop, saying yes to your friends, to your family. Your family is forcing you to come to a marriage. You will start, saying no to them. So having more courage and, be it in any situation is going to really help you. So do think about these two questions. And this question, again, these two questions are not just relevant for UPSC preparation, it's for life, right? So you need to be careful with this. Okay. Now let's move forward to the, understanding of that. Okay, so sometimes we feel that yes, we are unlucky, we are, magnet for undesirable situations. Every problem comes onto my head only. My family is facing all the issues, and maybe my health is not proper. There are so many things, right? And my life doesn't run on my plans and my timelines. So where does the control lie? The control doesn't lie in external situations or external entities. You cannot control your parents' behavior. You cannot control, situations. You cannot control the weather. You cannot control how the society or any person is behaving. But where does the control lie? It lies in our responses. How you would behave or react or respond in a particular situation, there lies the control. And how it is witnessed through our behavior, through our thoughts, through our imagery. By imagery, I mean to say that how you imagine yourself. Do you imagine yourself to be a confident, courageous person? Then, of course, the control lies with you. So you cannot control. And this is again connected to the aspect of 100% responsibility. You cannot live in victim mindset. You cannot blame others. So, where does the control lie? It lies with how you react, how you respond. And actually, the real word is that how you respond. Reaction is usually impulsive, which is not recommended always. You should be understanding the situation and then responding. So, your reaction should actually be well thought out response, right? And should not be an impulse manner. So, the responses to the situations, to the events around us is what is under our control, right? So please be aware of this fact that you are controlling your responses, right? This brings me to the discussion of that you can never qualify prelim story. Now, with this example, I would just like to, help you understand that how our responses or the way our thought processes work. So, for example, maybe I am in the, Karol Bagh area, or maybe I'm in the, old Rajendra Nagar area, and I'm just, strolling around and I'm just roaming around, and I tend to meet two different people. Okay. I stop a person on the road and I ask him, okay, what's your name? And, are you preparing for civil services and all that? And he says yes. And I tell him that, you know what? I feel you'll never be able to qualify prelims. Very strange thing to say. I don't know the person. I don't know his background. I don't even know how many attempts, he has given. Has he qualified or not? But then let's imagine that person with whom, I said these words that you will never be able to qualify prelims has actually never been able to qualify prelims. How it's going to impact him. He's going to be so much shattered. He might be already be under, under self confidence, right? Underconfident. But then with these words, because there's a sense of truth to it, he will assume that yes, oh, how does this person know? She doesn't know me, but she still, is it written on my face that I am a failure? I cannot ever qualify prelims, right? So, but then the second person that I met, okay, there's again a boy, going, or maybe a girl, and I just, stop her by, and maybe I'm just asking, okay, what's your name? And, how many attempts you have given? I'm a mentor and all. So, uh, And then, after like here and there, some chit-chatting and all, I just tell her, you know what, I feel that you'll never be able to qualify prelims. Why don't you go for, some other thing, maybe some other exam, some other career choice? I hope I'm audible, right? Because it showed to me that my internet connection is unstable. Am I audible? Any thumbs up or any chat may yes and thing would be good. Okay, okay. Thank you, Kushal. Okay, okay, right. Yes, let's come back to the story. Yes. So the story again, focusing back on the story, which was that I met another, person, and let's, change the gender. She's a girl. And I told her after, chit-chatting here and there for a few seconds that I feel that you'll never be able to qualify prelims. And, she's just, looking at my face and she's like, are you mad? I've got an interview call. Tomorrow I've got an interview. What are you saying? I've already qualified prelims. I've qualified mains. Tomorrow is my interview, right? So the same sentence, do you see the reaction? One person, when I told him the same thing, you can never qualify prelims, because of his past or because of his own belief that he has not been able to qualify prelims, so he'll not be able to qualify prelims in future also, is actually, has gone into a downward spiral of negative thought. He will keep on thinking, oh my God, how did she know? Is it written on my face? Oh, I don't look good. I'm not smart enough. I'm not intelligent enough. She must have been able to guess. And the other person, whom I said the same thing without knowing her background or anything, she was not able to accept these words because it did not apply to her. It didn't appear as a fact to her. Her fact, her truth, her reality was that she has already qualified prelims and she's, going for interview. So, do you understand how does the reaction differs from one person to another? So it doesn't matter what I tell you or what any third person tells you. You will never be able to qualify. You're not from a good school or good college. You don't have, proper language skills. Your personality is, bad. You're not so impressive. You're not able to speak English. How would you speak in front of so many people in the interview? Your writing skills are not good. Your this is bad. That is bad, and it doesn't really matter, because if you know that yes, if you're confident enough, if you're courageous enough, you for the fact know that I will be able to because I have been able to qualify prelims, or I will be able to because I've got that confidence. I'm putting in the required efforts. This year is going to be different. How does it matter? Anybody is thinking about what, right? For example, if you tell me that, oh, ma'am, I could see that your hair is green. I'm seeing that your hair is green. And I'll be like, oh, how would you say that my hair is green? My hair is black. Because I, for a fact, know about myself that my hair is not green. So why would I believe? I would just, take it as a casual remark and I'll just laugh it off. Oh, you're blind, you're color blind. Please check your eyesight. So what we believe about ourselves actually matters a lot, because there will be people telling you you're not going to qualify prelims because you have not been able to qualify earlier, or people will tell you that your hair is green. It depends upon you, you believe in them or not. Because what is your self belief? What is your thought process? How good or how confident you are, how courageous you are, how much responsibility you are taking for your own thought process. Let others speak about, anything they want to. Do you really care what other people, who's walking on the road saying anything to you? It doesn't really matter. So why does it matter when people around us, people close to us say they still don't know what kind of efforts we are putting in or what kind of potential we hold? Nobody knows. So have that faith in yourself, have that courage, take 100% responsibility. Okay. Start saying no to people, because the same people will tell you after taking your time, after wasting your time, that, oh, you can never qualify prelims. Right. So you need to remember the story that for the person, it became a fact, and for the another person, she just laughed it off. She was, just, having a, you could say a sarcastic tone that, oh my God, you're mad because I have already, qualified. So it doesn't really matter what the person believes or says to you. You need to have that faith in yourself. right? So with this, I'm just giving you a small assignment or homework, that three things that you want to change in yourself to be the best version of yourself. Please figure this out. I'm again saying this is a mindset session. Okay. You might still feel that these kind of things will not impact you or your success, or you need to get back to your studies. But let me tell you, with my experience, with that, interaction of so many students, sometimes what they are believing about themselves, they're hiding from their truth, they're hiding from certain facts, they're not being courageous enough, they're facing some issues in their personal life, they're not able to tackle that on their own, and they're not taking the 100% responsibility, is what stopping them from getting success in this exam. And it could be at any stage. It's not just about prelims, it could be interview, it could be even mains or whatever stage, right? So let's take few minutes to understand what are those three things that you want to change in yourself to be the best version of yourself. It could be anything. Maybe you're lazy. You know you have to study, but you don't start studying at 8 o'clock in the morning. You start studying at 10 o'clock because you were too lazy to get up at the time. Your clock, your timer and your clock was your alarm clock rang, but you still did not, get up from the bed. So please analyze, write this down. Three things that you want to change in yourself to become the best version. And I'm not just speaking from UPSC perspective, from a human perspective, from the personality perspective. What things you feel need to be changed in yourself? What behavioral characteristics? Okay, and of course the behavior, it's not the external. I want to change my room, I want to change my friend, I want to change my girlfriend. No, that's not the thing. What the change you want to see in yourself, right? So focus on that. Okay, three things. Take few seconds. It's essential to know that self-awareness, self-examination is required, because unless you go for that, you will never be able to achieve success. Do you know those three elements, three behavioral traits that you want to change? Those three bad habits? If you're able to, good. If you're not, please take time before you sleep tonight about thinking, these three things. Because unless until you realize what is stopping you, what are those behavioral traits which are not desired, which is still, inside you, if you're not working upon that, you're not able to, first of all, figure it out, you're not working upon that, these three things could become a big factor in your, I would not call it a failure, but yes, maybe not becoming successful in whatever thing that you do. Okay. Now let's come to an exercise. Okay. Again, few questions. So for this compulsory, please take a pen and paper. Okay. And because this is the time for self-examination, this is the time for self-awareness. Unless until you figure out for yourself that what is the problem that you're facing and what is the solution for it, you will never be able to understand that what could be the possible solutions and how do I make my life better, right? So let's go for this exercise. I call this as troubling situation exercise. That means the theme is that in your life currently, there could be some difficult circumstances or some troubling situation that you're experiencing. Now, here I want to, make you understand that with this exercise, I'm focusing more on the UPSC prelims preparation and not life in general. Like if you'll ask me this question, I might tell you that the troubling situation could be that maybe I'm not able to reach out to many students. My Telegram channel has very less subscribers. I wanted to touch thousands and thousands of students, but I'm just able to touch maybe hundreds. And out of those hundreds, maybe only 50 come for my guidance. So that may be a troubling situation in my life. Another troubling situation could be that I'm not able to balance work and life, right? There are days when I work for longer hours, maybe on entire day, I'm, sitting on my desk, keep on working, working, working. I start getting backache. And there are days when I'm not able to sit for even 3 to 4 hours to work. because maybe the other things, I have to take my mom to a doctor, or maybe, I have to go to the nearby market to buy something, or some, situation at home needs dealing with. So the balance is not there, which I feel, of course, it's very difficult. It's not that something which is easy. But here, so the situation for me is different, right? But for you, what is a troubling situation you're facing right now with respect to your preparation? You're not able to plan, you're not able to do previous year questions, you're not able to understand that, okay, the current affairs part needs to be done from where, you're totally misguided right now, or you're studying but you don't know this is going to lead to good results or not. So whatever is the troubling situation, or it could be your own personal life, maybe the troubling situation is that you're getting disturbed by your flatmates, maybe your family is not being supportive. Just focus on the life that you have around you. Okay. Don't take to major issues that, okay, the pollution is troubling me. Okay. Don't go for those things. It is more relevant for your personal situation. So the first question is, what is a troubling situation in my life? Please take few moments. I already gave you few examples from my life, right? So depending on your situation, depending on your life challenges, focus on the question and write down the answer for it. Okay. Do this exercise, because through this self examination, you'll become self aware. When you're aware of your issues, the solutions start coming to you. The question and answer is not just in one sentence or one word. Sometimes it takes stages to come to an answer. It takes stages, it takes a certain process to find out the solution. So we are going through this process. Okay. And for you, because of course it's not one-to-one, session, I cannot give you the answers. You have to take responsibility of your situation and answer these questions for yourself. So, what is the troubling situation in my life? I hope you were able to write something. Hindi, English, किसी भी language में लिखना है लिखो, but please लिखो, because you have to take account of it. Then the second question is that how am I allowing it to happen? So, for example, if the troubling situation for me is that I want to reach out to many students, but I'm not able to. So, how am I responsible for this? Because I've not started my YouTube channel, or maybe I've not started my social media, accounts, a professional social media account where maybe I could, use the algorithm to reach out to many people. Because in Telegram, of course, there's a limitation. There's no nothing like called as proper algorithm. You have to maybe approach other people to, talk about you, or post your channel link. But social media apps, be it Instagram or YouTube, it's open. So if you adhere to those, algorithm things and coding limits, of course, I'll be able to reach out to maybe some random students, who are preparing for this exam, will be able to come across my video and start, knowing about me, start getting these help from the sessions and all, right? So you need to, again, uh, take the same example but put it into your life situation, that how are you allowing it to happen. So the troubling situation is that maybe you're not getting the time to practice previous year questions. So how are you allowing it to happen? Because you're not prioritizing it. You're thinking that, okay, maybe uh, towards the month of April or even in May, I will sort out previous year questions. Or last year also the same thing happened with you, that you thought, okay, let me complete the syllabus first and I'll do the PYQ later on. But the syllabus never got completed timely, and the you never got the chance to do the previous year questions in a thorough manner, in an in-depth analysis manner, right? So how are you allowing that to happen? If your flatmate is disturbing you, your friends is disturbing you, your friend randomly calls you, okay, so how are you allowing it to happen? Because you don't have set boundaries. I'm giving you certain hints. I hope you're able to figure out the answer for yourself, right? Then you have, what is the truth that I'm ignoring or pretending not to know? Now, this is where the real, awareness comes. You all know, you all are already aware, right? But then you pretend not to know, you pretend to ignore, you want to escape the truth. So, what is the truth I'm ignoring or pretending not to know? The truth in my case that I'm pretending or ignoring not to know is that okay, with Telegram only, I'll be able to reach out to many students. Or maybe I have already got a, base of loyal students who attend my every session, who reach out to me. I'm satisfied with that. Okay. Or maybe I'm ignoring the truth that I have to start. Someday there should be a deadline to start or, to expand, to touch more lives, to touch more students, to guide more students. In your case, what is the truth that you're ignoring? That last year also, you thought you'll be able to practice previous year questions, but you could not. And that means you're not prioritizing it enough. You're pretending that you will be having time in the month of April and May to deal with previous year questions, right? So please think for your situation, what is the truth that you're ignoring? Because you are aware of it. Trust me, whatever I've spoken up till now, it's not that you're not aware of something new I'm speaking. But yes, sometimes you need a PPT, you need a person speaking about it, you need a mentor talking about such issues so that you become aware, right? So, what is the truth you're ignoring or pretending not to know? A very essential question. The next question is, what is the cost of not taking action? So, whatever is the troubling situation in your life, if you're not taking action. So, what is the cost? What is the payment for it? What is the consequence? If your flatmate is disturbing you, if your friend is disturbing you, your parents are not being supportive, you're not doing your previous year question, you're not doing the NCRTs. So, what is the cost? The cost is that maybe again this year, most of the questions come from NCRT. Maybe again, previous year questions, you have repeated themes from PYQs, and again, you're not able to qualify the exam or XYZ, right? So, depending upon whatever was your answer to the first question, you need to also decide that if you don't take action to solve that particular issue, what is the cost to you, right? How are you going to pay for it? Are you going to pay through attempt? Are you going to pay through your ear, through your efforts? Through what? Right? Then the next question is to solve it, what actions will you take? You need to understand that to solve the problem, the solution has to be through you. You need to be firm. You need to be courageous. You need to take 100% responsibility and you need to decide the actions that you need to take to solve that particular problem. Okay. The situation is very unique to you. It could be individual. It could be a common situation, like the previous year question. Maybe it's a common situation, a common problem for many students, or the situation, whatever you're dealing with, could be unique to you. You know the truth, you know the solution to it, you also know the actions. So write it down. You might be knowing it, what are the actions that you need to take. Maybe it's in your mind, but then you're not actually doing it. So put it on the paper. Write 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the 4 set of actions. These are the 2 set of actions. These are the 3 set of actions. Whatever number comes into your mind, write it down. I hope you're done with that. Then next is, by when will you take this action? So we are aware, okay, what is the solution of the problem? We are aware of the problem. We are aware of the solution. We are supposed to, take the actions. But have you put a timeline to it? Have you put a deadline to it? Or are you still thinking that, okay, previous year questions, okay, I'll still do it. Maybe post Holi, I'll start doing that. By when will you take that particular set of actions which will solve your problem, which will solve that troubling situation in your life? Right? This is what the mindset is. You know everything, you know the problem, you know the solution, you know the actions also. But sometimes we lack courage, we lack that zeal, we lack that commitment to ourselves to take that action. We lack the commitment to ourselves to say no. So you need to put a deadline that, okay, if I've not been able to touch previous year questions till today, tomorrow onwards, my first task of the day would be to go through previous year questions. If there's some personal issue, so I will maybe talk to my partner, to my boyfriend, to my girlfriend, to my parents, to maybe that particular friend who calls me at random times, who thinks that I'm, doing UPSC for time pass. So by when will you take that action? By when will you talk to that particular person who's disturbing you? Or maybe, you know, say it in through the text. Maybe talking becomes difficult. So have the courage to text that, see, my exam is coming nearer, and maybe I'll not be able to pick up your call every time you call me, right? So put a deadline to it. Otherwise, these are empty words. These are only lip service. Because without this exercise, also, you knew what is troubling you. You knew the solution also. You knew what actions need to be taken. You also knew the truth or the things that you were pretending to ignore. But you did not fix the timeline. You did not fix the deadline to take that action, to solve that problem. You are procrastinating. You're saying, okay, kal dekh lenge, parso dekh lenge, uske baad dekh lenge, right? And once you have set a deadline or once you have, set a date for that action, how much committed you are on taking this action? Because sometimes we put a date, okay, tomorrow I'll do this. From tomorrow, I'll start going to gym. Tomorrow is Monday. Oh, week starts. Let me start, going to the gym. I'll not go today. Today's Sunday. Let me take a day, rest. Maybe from tomorrow. So if I fix the date, how much committed I am. And please be very honest to yourself for the answer to this particular question. How much committed you are. And when I'm saying how much, of course, you have to rate yourself from 0 to 10. 10 being, of course, the highest number. That means you're utterly committed to taking this action. Any number, if you give yourself less than 8, you need to again start asking question that why you're hesitating to take the action. Why you're giving yourself a 5 or 6 or 7. That means you're still not convinced that you will take this action by this timeline, by this deadline. So what is stopping you? Again, go through your emotions. Again, go for that self-awareness. Is it that you're lacking courage? You're procrastinating? You're thinking, okay, maybe I need some extra help. I need some extra support, which is not available right now. Maybe something else, XYZ, whatever is there. 8, 9, 10. If you're awarding yourself this number, that how much committed you are. So if you're giving yourself 8 or 9 or 10, it shows that yes, you're sincere to take that action. If not, if you're giving yourself any number less than 8, please revisit, re-examine, re-question yourself. Why you're not committed enough? What is stopping you from making it 10? Why you're procrastinating? Is it fear? Most of the times it's fear. Most of the times it's like, okay, let me take, one day at a time. Let me do the subject syllabus first. Previous year questions to hote rahenge. Previous year questions thodi na aate hain exactly. Or maybe, anything. What is your, whatever is your troubling situation, right? So this set of questions, I would recommend, if possible, take a screenshot. Okay. Just a moment. I could see if it becomes a little bit, you can, crop my face. Okay. And please take a screenshot because this is something that whenever you're facing any challenge, you can go with this exercise. You can go for these set of questions and answer them, and you will be able to realize, especially the question, the truth that I'm ignoring, the cost of not taking action, right? By when will you take this action and how much committed? These 4 questions will really give you the zeal, the motivation to take that particular action, because it is actually, unfolding the deeper levels of, you could say, limiting beliefs or the negative thought process or any situation which you feel that the other person is holding the reins and not you. You need to take accountability. You need to take 100% responsibility. You need to be courageous. You need to set a deadline, timeline for that action. You need to see through that action. You need to be committed to your goal. You need to be committed to solving that problem, right? So This is what is the troubling situation exercise. In any point of time, at any point of time in your life, if you go through these questions, I'm sure you'll be able to solve a lot of your problems and challenges. Everything is there in our mind, but when we write it as a sort of a Q&A, sort of a, writing the answers on a page, it really enlightens us. It really helps us, absorb that, yes, okay, this is what I need to do for my own good, because nobody's coming to save me. I am my own savior, right? That brings me to the next part, which is that don't take studying or preparing for the exams as a burdensome thing. This is something that, sometimes again requires you to be very honest with yourself, requires you to go for self-examination. You need to be self-aware. Sometimes we take studying or preparing for the exam as a compulsory activity, as sort of a मजबूरी. मजबूरी में पढ़ना पड़ रहा है, एग्जाम आ रहा है इसलिए पढ़ना पड़ रहा है. बिकॉज जब तक आप मजबूरी के एंगल से ऑपरेट कर रहे हो कि आपका मन नहीं है, बट यू हैव टू. I have to wake up early in the morning because maybe, my house help comes at 7 o'clock, or my house help, lands at 6 a.m. So because of her, I have to wake up, right? You have to wake up and study because, yes, I have to give this year's attempt. The exam is coming nearer. So instead of, making it a compulsion, a forced activity, you change the terminology, you change the way you rephrase the sentence. I choose to, or I get to. I choose to get up in the morning because I am the person responsible for the family, for my home. If I don't open the door for my house help, the rooms will be dirty, the house will not get, cleaned. And of course, it's not that I cannot clean it, because I have a job to do. I have students waiting for mentorship. I have, other stuff to do. I need my house helps, help and support. And that is why I have to choose to get up in the morning and start my day so that my day feels sorted. Otherwise, I'll be irritated. I'll be washing the utensils myself and not being able to take the calls or plan my sessions, right? So similarly, instead of having this, notion that you have to study for this exam, you choose to study for the exam because you are lucky to have the opportunity to study for the exam. You have the opportunity, the resources, the support being given out to you by your family, by, the people around you, so that you can make something good out of your life. There are many, many people, trust me on this. I know many people who wanted to pursue, who wanted to, prepare for this exam, but due to some reasons, either they couldn't get the financial support, they couldn't get the support from the family, they had to earn, or maybe they had to get into a job on a, an immediate basis, and they didn't get the opportunity to study or prepare for this exam. So from I have to, you move on to I choose to. When you say I choose to, you do it out of a happy and joyous place. You take ownership, you take responsibility. You tell your mind, your brain, that you're choosing to live life. You're choosing to make the best out of the opportunities being given to you, because others are not lucky enough to get the same opportunity. So, yes, day in, day out, studying becomes a very boring task. I know, I have been in your shoes, but on those days, please tell yourself that I don't have to make this task a compulsory thing or a forced thing or a activity to be done under pressure. I have got the opportunity because I choose to prepare for this exam. When you change the words, you go from obligation to ownership, from pressure to purpose, from forced to focused. So you're not obligated. You feel that you have owned your life, you have owned up your career choices, you have owned up to the opportunity that yes, you want to prepare for this exam. And for that, of course, you choose to get up in the morning or whatever time that is comfortable for you. You choose to go to the library and study. You choose to sit for 8 to 10 to 12 hours to study. So from pressure, from the point of, from the aspect of, or the perspective of pressure, you turn that pressure into purpose. Otherwise, let's imagine, what will you do? If you're not preparing for the exam, if you're not studying, how much OTT or web series you would see, how much social media you will scroll, how much cups of tea, coffee, junk food you will have with your friends, how many movies you could watch, how much time you can waste with your family, sitting around and gossiping and chit-chatting. After a few days, you'll start getting bored of this. Nobody can live a life where they are not, being productive, when they're not contributing back to society or making something better out of their life. Comfort zone, rest, relaxation, recreation is always good in small measures. थोड़ा थोड़ा रिक्रिएशन, थोड़ा थोड़ा एंटरटेनमेंट का वैल्यू रहता है. अगर मैं दिन भर आपको बोलूंगी ना कि दिन भर मैं 10 मूवीज दे रही हूँ, देख के मुझे उसकी स्टोरी बताओ रात में, आपको वो भी मन नहीं करेगा. Because the force, the pressure, right? So you need to understand that this life is not meant to just be get wasted, or this life is not to take burden or pressure. Whatever you're getting the opportunity to do, if you're getting the opportunity to study, if you're getting the opportunity to do a job, if you're getting the opportunity to be something in your life, to become something, to have a career, to become financially stable, because maybe in the future, there would be a time where you have to take care of your parents. Right now, they are taking care of you. There soon will be a time when they will be looking up to you to help them, support them. Maybe not financially, but at least mentally and physically. Because they grow old, they require your support. So if the opportunities that you're getting today, if you're not making the best out of it, it will be very difficult later in the life, right? You can always change your life in 30s, 40s, 50s, but trust me, you do it easily in your 20s. You can still do many stuff in your 30s, 40s, 50s, but it becomes very, very difficult. There's a, additional stress. There are people dependent on you. You have to pay the bills. You have to pay the fees of your school-going children. You have to take care of your family, your wife, your husband, or whatsoever. Gender doesn't matter over here. So whatever you get to do in life from compulsion or from obligation, you move on to choosing it, feeling happy about it. If you change this thought process, you will feel better. You will start having the motivation to wake up early in the morning. You will, have the motivation to do, the studies in a productive manner. You will have the courage to say no to people because you know that you are choosing to study for this exam and you don't have time and hours to waste. Right? So this is another key takeaway. Write it down. I have to move from I have to I choose to. Okay? Please make a note of it so that you remember. And whenever you're in a doubt, whenever you're feeling lazy, whenever you're feeling that, okay, let me waste some time, let me, scroll my phone, let me see who is chatting, who is messaging me in WhatsApp, let me check some statuses, let me check Telegram also. Like, okay, what new material has come to me or come, has got published on the channels. No use. Whatever material you already possess is enough to help you clear the exam. Okay, so you choose to make your life worthwhile, meaningful, productive, disciplined, so that you're a good human being. And when I say good, just good for yourself. I'm not even, taking the aspect that you're a good human being to others or not. You're practicing compassion or ethics or not. Just be a good human being to yourself. Be accountable to yourself, right? Then, along with that, just as I mentioned in the initial phase of the session, that we will work out the solution through the processes. But there are certain tips that I want to share because I have seen that students study But the other aspects, if it is not catered or it is not, given heed to, might pose problems. So along with studying and along with your efforts, I want you to practice gratitude. See, just like, I try to change your thought process from I have to, I choose to. So in a way, I choose to is also a form of gratitude. You are grateful that God or any person or even your parents has given you the opportunity to sit in your youth, in your 20s, where other people are working in a job or getting married to prepare for an exam for which you decided to appear for. So you need to bring that aspect of gratitude and gratefulness, right? Because it's going to again help you develop positive belief system and positive mindset. Okay. And I'm not saying that you make some diary, go buy a diary, gold bound and gold framed diary and this and that, a nice pen, and you're, penning down into your beautiful handwriting. Okay. 5 things I'm grateful for. Whenever you get a chance, whenever you open a book, whenever you're, doing anything, and there you realize that, okay, how lucky you are. Your family calls you have good internet connection, you have stable, you have a phone, you have, laptops, whatever resources. Just, say thank you. Don't go for that, hi-fi journaling and all that. I'm not expecting, if you want to, that's your call. But I'm not expecting anybody to, like start doing this, because right now the focus is on studying, right? But whenever you come across, I would say every moment there is something that we can be grateful for. I am grateful right now that I have a stable internet connection. There is no power or electricity cut off. So I'm able to conduct this session. I'm grateful that everybody is able to hear me. There have been no, disturbance, not people telling me, oh, ma'am, we can't hear you, we can't hear you, we can't hear you. Right? So there are many, many things to be grateful about. And I'm also grateful that you guys have come to attend this session. You're here to listen to me. Okay. So that is how you can practice gratitude in every moment, in everything. Right. The next thing is, because we need to accept that we live in a stressful environment, we live in stressful times, and especially the nature of this exam, the cycle, the entire preparation, the entire year, goes into the preparation. You are under stress. So stress, of course, cannot be, totally minimized, or I would say it cannot be, brought down to zero. It can be minimized, of course, but even I'm not sure how much minimization we can, think, because it's something that cannot be measured. Like nobody can measure that, okay, person is going through so much of stress and person B is going less stress, right? So especially those two people, if we are preparing for the same exam. So what we need to do is that we need to, rather than thinking about quantifying the stress, we need to solve it. We need to bring it to a level where it doesn't hamper our productivity. And for that, I'm going to suggest, please start doing some meditation. And I'm not saying that first thing in the morning. I'll actually suggest you do it before you sleep. The nighttime meditation, the meditation, it could be yog nidra. There are many meditations for that matter. Okay. Anything which appeals to you. There are simple meditations also where, people just help you relax and you have a peaceful, relaxed sleep. So ideally, I would say, because everything is connected. If you're having a peaceful sleep, right, your body is working fine. And next day you wake up fresh. You're able to be productive. Most of the times I've come across students telling me they're not able to sleep properly, the sleep is disturbed, they don't feel, if they're sleeping also, the deep sleep is not happening, and the next day they don't feel fresh, they don't feel, productive enough. The energy kicks in maybe in afternoon or next evening, right? So you need to work upon that. I cannot decrease your stress by taking away the stress which is, coming innate with this exam system. But what we can do is that we can minimize. And trust me on this, whatever I've said up till now, I practice it on my own, right? Whatever exercises I actually made you do, I have done that same exercise 2 days back. So these are my learnings, and that's why I'm trying to get to you to understand, to help you understand that this is something that will help you. So along with your studies and your hours of sitting and preparation and efforts and everything, you need to do some sort of meditation, especially nighttime meditation, sleep meditation, so that you feel relaxed, you can have deep sleep, and next day you feel refreshed. Please don't expect instantaneous results. Okay. Um, it doesn't happen like that. You cannot take away years and months of stress in one night of, meditation. Don't have unrealistic expectations for anything. Every good thing takes its own time to give you results, right? So one day diet and next day if I eat junk, I cannot expect to lose weight. One day gym and next day I have a muscle. No, it doesn't happen like that. So whatever you do it with conviction. Okay. Do it with trust, with faith, with belief that it's going to benefit you, and do it for a certain number of days. I'm sure after a few days, you'll start seeing the benefit. Also, I don't recommend people to join gym at this point of time because, of course, we have to sit and study for many hours. But then I would recommend that include some form of activity, some form of exercise, 30-minute exercise, a walk, whatever is possible for you. See, we also need to understand that this entire system of exam and preparing for the exam, sitting long hours on the study table, is not what is natural for a human body. You're not supposed to sit on a table the entire day. You're supposed to be an active person, right? So, but of course, the entire society works like that. People who are doing desk jobs, they tend to sit for long hours. Similarly, as student, you're supposed to, sit for longer hours. So then you need to include some activity. And that activity, of course, not recommending you to join gym and do, muscle building and all that for 2 hours. No, we don't have that kind of luxury of time right now. But do some physical activity, some stretching, some 30-minute walk, whatever is possible for you. Do some yoga at your home, only some basic stretches, cat cow pose, and that bhujangasana pose is there for your back pain and for strengthening the spine. There are many many things, like just opt for something which is very simple, basic, and please practice it on a regular basis. Simple exercise is going to help you a lot, because again, if you're not taking care of your health, along with so much of stress, along with bad quality of food that you're consuming, then your health starts taking a hit. Your immunity is compromised, the weather is changing, people have started already falling sick, the viral is going on, it's spreading. So so all of this is non-negotiable actually, and you have to do it along with, of course, the studying part, right? So only studying is something which is not going to help you. I used to be that person who used to believe that these all things are rubbish. If I have to study, I only need to study. These all activities are just, time wasting and distracting me from my original goal. And my father used to, literally, be behind my back that, oh, please, go for this, do some exercise, do some activity. You study 1 hour less, I have no problem, but you go for these exercises, do some meditation, do something. But I never listened to him. And now I realize, and now I've started doing it and I get see the difference in my life. So I cannot remove the stress, because stress is present in everybody's life, be it you, be it me. Maybe the intensity varies, but then we need to go for activities which minimize our stress. Of course, exercise and moving your body is also one of them, right? Then, of course, the one most important part is that apart from linearly or unidimensionally studying, please plan. Use a planner, use a diary, use a copy to plan your days, weeks, months. Okay. And this advice is even, it's going to be carried forward in the future also when you're appearing for your mains exam, right? So please plan your days. If you're not good with planning, you're not good with time management, please take help of some other person, maybe your family member, maybe your sibling, your mentor, any faculty, anybody. Okay. Go for that if you're not able to self plan your day or self plan your entire study schedule, but then do opt for planning. Without planning, your directionless efforts is not going to give results. The efforts need to be directed to give you the desired results. Effort is everybody doing. A person sitting in Delhi is also putting in the efforts. A person sitting in any remote village who thinks of appearing for the exam, who has filled out the form, is also putting in the efforts. But there might be a difference that a person maybe who is remotely studying might not have the direction, might not be planning. And the person sitting in Delhi or any other city has got the resources, has got the mindset, has got the awareness that planning is something which is very important. And he uses or she uses a planner to plan. It could be a, iPad or digital based planner, whatever you're, comfortable with, online, plannings and all, online Excel sheets or whatever you're going for. Or it could be a pen and paper simple. I still offer pen and paper. I feel most comfortable over there. Okay, so that is something that you need to do. These are few non-negotiables, I would say, or essential things that you need to uh, do apart from, of course, studying. Right? Again, a mindset session. I'm not going to discuss the importance of previous year questions. I'm not going to discuss how much CSAT you should practice, how many FLTs you need to practice, because again, we are deviating from the main issue. The main topic, the theme was the mindset, and I have given you the questions, I've given you the hints, how to think, how to change your mindset, where you're lacking, and every solution lies with you. So please have that faith, take that responsibility, be courageous, learn to say no, go for these troubleshooting exercises where you're figuring out that, okay, if something is troubling you, some situation is difficult in your life, what is the possible solution for it, how is your commitment to it to solve it, and what is the deadline. That is also very important. The solution might be existing every time, but how dedicated you are to actually take the action to put those solutions. Okay, and the ending note is that I want to say, honor your body like a temple, command your space like a battlefield, and walk this world as God's own angel. You crack the exam, you don't crack the exam. Just be a happy human being. Just believe that you're God's favorite child. God has sent you with some purpose. The purpose could be with maybe becoming an IS or IPS officer, or it could be with something else. But every person has a purpose in this life. Figure out your purpose and be cautious that how you are living your life. Be self-aware, go for self-examination. And when I say honor your body like a temple, if you are addicted to anything, it could be booze, it could be smoking, it could be junk food, it could be anything which you know in the long term is not going to help you. Please start moving away from that. I'm not saying that in a day you leave smoking or you leave your addictions. It's not possible in a day. But yes, the day you start honoring your body like a temple, just like we don't go visit a temple without taking a bath. We always wear fresh clothes, washed clothes, right? You don't land up dirty, unclean, unhygienic at any temple. The fear of God is there, right? Similarly, treat your body like a temple. Don't ingest anything which is going to harm your body. Because if you treat your body like a temple, your mind, body, your brain will help you crack this exam. It will help you increase your focus and concentration. It will help you hone your intuition and gut feeling to solve that question. You might have felt that sometimes the brain feels foggy, you're not able to concentrate. There could be numerous reasons: lack of sleep, bad food, junk food, too much sugar, sugary or processed things you are eating, or maybe you're just mistreating yourself. You're not taking bath for many days. You're not taking care of yourself. If you're not taking care of your body will not reward you, because to get or to do anything in life, you need to have a healthy body, right? And when I say command your space like a battlefield, it's like that you imagine and you have courage that you are in a battlefield and it's do or die situation for you. What will you do? Will you try and escape the truth? Will you try and entertain your friend? Will you try and open this phone on the battlefield and start scrolling social media reels? No, you will fight. So have that courage, have that confidence that you are here for a purpose. You need to figure out your purpose. It could be through UPSC, it could be through something else. But then you need to remember these words. Okay. And believe that somebody somewhere has certain plan for you. They have brought you on this earth with some purpose. They have not given you that purpose. They have not revealed it. With time, with your own efforts, you will, reveal it to yourself. And then you will be convinced that, okay, yes, this is my life's purpose. So with this, I end the session. I expect that you learned something. Your mind got opened up to certain, I would say, perspectives, and you were able to understand that everything is within you. Let's not get into victim mindset. I am not saying that the other person or the society is perfect, the world is perfect. No, we are not living in a perfect world. But the only person responsible is you, right? So, this was about the mindset session. Um, I will be sharing the PPT. Okay, so if you have not been able to note down the questions or you've not been able to take a pic of it, no problem. You can access that. Like I see the PDF and all. Okay, and with that, I would like to end the session. There are some questions I think in the chat. I'll just check and okay, just a moment. Right. So I think the definition of courage was eye-opening. Yes. So it's not always about, dangerous situations, courage. It's about for us unpleasant situations. Right. Okay. Nice. You have been able to figure out. Uh, some people have written the three things that, they want to change about themselves. So nice. Wow. Good. So nice. Right. Okay, I think people are asking about the contact. So I'll just give my Telegram ID. There you can drop me a message. Just a moment. Even if you're part of my channel, there I have posted my like if you go in the details of the channel, then you will find my personal ID over there. But I'm just going to write it over there in the chat also. Just a moment. Yes, I'm just checking that, nothing is getting left. Yes, okay. So I've given the Telegram ID, okay? And I'm not sure if you guys have come from which source, but I think one of the posts was circulated in some other channels also. I think one of my students only did that. So you can, get connected with, you can DM me on this, ID. And there's also one more channel that I'll post. Like, the students have been able to get help over there because I'm posting some resources and guidance in general for everybody. Okay, right. So right. So whoever wants to, like contact me personally, you can, DM me. I'll reach out to you. We can, then take it forward. Okay. Okay. So, again, that question of, getting old and all, I'll tell you, I'm sure you're younger than me, right? So I'm in my late 30s. So you can understand. Okay. I'm being very frank and straightforward here over here that I think you all guys are younger than me, right? So don't feel old because this is all societal concept. Sometimes we need to accept that we might have delayed, you could say things for us. Sometimes people get success at the age of 25, some get it at 35, 45, right? Yes, in this exam you have an age limit, you have opportunities limit, you have an attempt limit. I understand that, but don't put unnecessary pressure on yourself about the age and all. If you have decided to do something with your life, that is something which is more important rather than worrying about the timelines being fixed by society, right? So yes, there should be a certain idea that okay, maybe this is a time I need to think about my financial stability, but please don't go with the angle of that I've become too old. There's nothing like being old and all. That's all society, and that's all, capitalist, systems projecting things. The all, the wrinkle creams and anti wrinkle creams, and looking young and all that is all, forcing you to buy those stuff and promote the capitalist system. So don't worry about those stuff. You're not getting old. And the society, of course, they always try to that, okay, it's high time you get married, get settled. I would say in the current times, because we are seeing so much, negative examples of, bad marriages and everything. And if you're doing anything out of pressure, it might not work in your favor. If you're getting married under pressure, you don't want to get married, you don't want to get settled. If you're doing anything out of pressure, out of because somebody else is expecting you to do that, your father is getting retired and then you want to, in a hurry want to get settled and get married, not the perfect way, right? Because everybody has their own timeline. Your parents have their own timeline. They might want to, like, um, make you or help you settle down before they get retired, but you don't need to be in a rush. In today's world, we don't need to follow the timelines of other people. Yes, what feels suitable to you, that should be the goal, right? So I understand that, especially students who are into their 25, 26 plus years of age and all. And sometimes even we have students 28, 29, 30 years of age, because the age limit of UPSC is 32. So there are people who are giving attempts. Please give your best. Don't worry about the age. Okay. The year you crack the exam, everything, feels secondary. It doesn't really matter which attempt. The moment you get your desired rank, the moment you crack the exam, you get the rank. These things really don't matter. You in the list, you will never find the number of attempts written beside the toppers marks, like their rank also, or beside their roll number. It doesn't really matter. So don't worry about the age. Even the age is not written. So yes, there could be certain small consequences when you qualify this exam at a later age. Of course, the promotion and all that from that perspective. But I think we just need to accept it, that it's okay. At least I was able to, maybe I'll see to it. Maybe they reward me with my such a good work I've done, that they reward me with some other good post and everything. So you don't have to worry about something about which is in future right now, but don't follow the timeline set by society, right? So with that, I'll end the session, and thank you so much for being here. And I think I have some more questions. Just a moment. Okay. Akash, you're in class 12th. So see, I would say at this point of time, I'm not the right person to guide you. You need to go for some coaching, some foundation programs first, because usually my area of expertise lies with students who have given multiple attempts, or who are have done their basic coaching. So I think I'm not the perfect person to guide you at this point of time. You can take help of other people, or there are multiple I would say videos available on YouTube. And my personal opinion, my personal advice would be that why don't you first focus on the graduation part, and maybe in your third, or like in your second or third year, then you can start preparing for the UPSC. As of now, don't be worried. Yes, maybe while choosing the subject of your graduation, it could be a possibility that you're considering that, okay, that could be the same optional that you will have in your UPSC. But frankly, it's too long a journey. We don't know. Every year I hear that the optionals are getting eliminated and they might not be there in the next year's exam. So these rumors are always there. So I'll not recommend making any choices as of now, depending on UPSC, right? So please be careful with that, and at this point of time, focus on doing the graduation properly. Please enjoy your life. For that matter, I would say you need to enjoy the graduation phase, those years, those college years, because that is the time when you actually tend to understand the world. You start understanding how the world operates, how people operate. One day they are good to you, the other day they are not good to you. Frankly, my college years were the real eye openers. Okay, and it's not that something that I've had like come out of my home for the first time. I was already, like, most of my schooling was done out of hostel. So even in my school days, I was based out of a hostel, and I had interactions with the outside world. But frankly, the experience which I had in my college days was real eye opener. So more than UPSC, I would say your college years are for you to learn how the society, how the world operates, what kind of biases and what kind of behaviors people have, and that's going to be real eye opener for you. So, but yes, coming back to the preparation, second year, third year onwards, you can get into that. Okay, and please take help of somebody else. Just like I told you, because you need that foundation coaching and all, and I'm not the best person at this point of time for you. Okay. Uh, okay. So, yes, I think the session is being recorded. And I will, post the link. So I'll upload it on the Google Drive and I'll post the link. If you want to show it to your parents, your other friends, your peer group, whatever, you can share. Okay. I'll keep it open. Okay. So all the best, everyone. Thank you for staying with me up till now and giving your 2 hours precious time, right? All the best for your exam. Study well. Okay. Take care. Bye bye.